Well, tell me the truth, dude, in your personal experience.
Yeah.
How many girls have you known that can give a good handy?
So, you got to clarify that a little bit.
A one that you didn't have to instruct her, one that she didn't feel like she was ripping your dick off.
Could she use I mean, if it's with no lube?
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about a lubed handy.
Oh,
yeah, but I'm saying a bad one, or one that, obviously they're not adept to doing that.
So how many are bad or how many are good?
No, bad. I mean, how many, let me just put it this way. Yeah. In your experience, have you had more good handies or more bad handies? Ones that you've had to kind of intervene and get involved and say, oh, no, no, stop. Ouch.
I can only think of 2 times that I actually had to say something.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Most of the time they're fucking okay with it. And most of the time I'm not really willing to just accept that. If they fucking start jerking it by the 10th or 12th stroke, I'm fucking grabbing them by their neck and trying to get them to do.
Well, but barring your personal preferences.
Yeah. I would say 2. One was the very first girl I ever had sex with. Because she fucking blew me and fucked me the first time, and then wanted to back out. The next time she's like, "Oh, I don't want to do everything we did before." Started jerking me off. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And she was like fucking milking a cow.
Right.
She wasn't good at it at all. She's like squeezing.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's where I'm going with this.
And she was not very good at it.
Right.
And then there was one other girl. This was in Korea. She would grab my cock so fucking tight that it felt like she was trying to pull the head of my dick off.
Right. That's where I'm going with this. Is it's like they're trying to just rip it off or something. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Think about what you're doing. You think you'd enjoy that if I did that to your fucking leg?
Sure.
You fucking idiot. Take it easy. Yeah. So two that were not really decent.
And then the rest were like, okay, you seem to know what you're doing.
Yeah, the rest were all right.
All right.
I really haven't had that all that much, though, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not like to finish to completion. Almost never. Have you had that a lot?
I won't say a lot, but there's times when they want to do you this little favor and they think that they're doing it right. And it's just like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I want to take care of you, real quick. Maybe you don't have time for the whole 9 yards or whatever.
Would you say that you've had that more than 10 times?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't think I've had that more than 10 times.
Sure.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
Time it's just like a warm up, and then they start sucking your dick.
Yeah, but that's if you have time. These are quick. I want to do something nice for you real quick, like. Yeah. And they think that they know what they're doing, and then they get into it, and it's like, whoa, what are you doing? They just like grab you and start jerking you like they're, it's like. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had one of those press for time moments. Oh, yeah.
Most of the time, if it's a press for time moment, it's fucking usually straight up sex. Just jumps on. She'll just jump on and fucking, does whatever that fucking makes you come quick.
Sure. But you were married for 25 years, though.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know.
Yeah. All right, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, not many, not many bad hand jobs, not many hand jobs. Period. So
sure,
I'm gonna say 20%.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I'm gonna go 50-50.
Wow.
Here's look at that one that who's got that one in the chat room right now? Yeah, Demon.
Which one?
The one where the girl's got her thumb and the guy's thumb in her mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like, that's the one I'm talking about right there. She's just like trying to rip your dick off.
Yes, that doesn't look too.
No, that's not a goodie.
To be honest, none of these do really. Maybe the one that she posted here. The one with the glasses doesn't look horrible.
Sure.
It doesn't look bad, and then the one right under that.
Yeah, the one at the very bottom.
Oh, I don't want the girl's finger up my asshole. But
No, the one at the very bottom.
Let me see at the bottom. The one from behind?
No, she's got her feet up there.
I don't want that either.
I don't want that either.
Oh, I don't want that either. And I really don't like the one that's now at the bottom with the from behind. Price.
Yeah, that's a reach around.
Yeah, not good.
Nice.
Reach around's a good primer.
Right.
But again, that's just for a minute, and then you got to fucking turn it around and stuff it in her mouth.
Right.
Right. That's what.
That's more personal preference than it is whether they do it well or not.
You're going to tell me that there is any guy on this planet that likes to get jerked off more than getting their dick sucked?
I'm not saying more than. I'm just saying that if there's some girls who have a really good skill that can really do a good job. Others are just like, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
There are some that you probably would rather get a handy than fucking put your cock in their fucking meat grinder.
Their meat grinder?
No, there are.
Sure there are.
Worst blowjob you ever had? Was it like completely awful? Like to where you were like, you never wanted to have any kind of sex?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Sure.
Was the worst one I ever had. Definitely a Korea story here. I was in my barracks room and we were partying and somehow I ended up with this one chick. I didn't even like her. Didn't think she was hot, nothing, but somehow she ended up in my room.
Okay.
And, we were trashed. We were trashed. I wasn't as trashed as she was.
Interestingly enough, that most of these stories that you tell...
Dude, I had very few sober moments.
That's my point. Everybody's always trashed all the time.
I had very few sober days in Korea. That's for damn sure. But I wasn't so trashed. So I was just she came in the room and under the guise of, do you want to watch a movie?
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, all right, sure. So we were, it was Army bunk beds. And my roommate wasn't there because he lived off the base. He just had a bed. So we were laying on my bunk, which was the bottom bunk, and just kind of watching TV. And we started making out or whatever. And she started pawing at my dick. And then, just led to that. And she started fucking giving me a blowjob. But it was like, it was one of those where they don't go even a centimeter past the head of your cock.
Sure.
One of those fucking jobs. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And literally I stopped her about halfway through and was like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, I've had those experiences too. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I literally stopped her and said, what are you doing? She's like, you don't like it? I was like, no, I don't. Work that dick. For God's sakes. And she got all mad and fucking left.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, all right, whatever.
You insulted my skill, man.
There was no skill.
I understand. Believe me, I get it.
Believe me, the 10 seconds that I had to fucking rub it out myself after she left was better than the fucking 20 minutes that she fucking put into not doing it right. Right. Fucking horrible.
Do you ever have those experience? Well, maybe you haven't because my life has been markedly different than yours, but
sure.
You meet some girl and she more or less just carries on like, I'm going to be the deepest, darkest, most, memorable experience you've ever had in your life. And then if you get to the point where you get down to it, there's like, okay, have at it, do it. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And they think that just by putting on like a negligee or something, that's like the hottest thing ever. It's okay, well, okay, let's do this deepest, darkest, hottest thing ever. And it's just like,
this is it.
This is it. And you're just like, really? That's it?
Hell yes, I've had that.
You know, it's like, what are you thinking?
Dude, there was all these stories are Korea because that's after that I was married.
Right,
so,
of course.
You know, there was this girl on this other base. There was a base called K-16, and I was stationed at Yongsan. And we played on these. I was always involved in all the sports things, the sports, the softball team and the volleyball team, and the weightlifting and all that other shit. I did all that shit.
Okay.
And so I met this chick. She came out to when our base played K-16 in softball. And I met this chick, and, we hit it off or whatever. And I gave her my phone number to reach me in the office. And she would call me every single day. And she was always like, oh, man, at first it started off nice, but then it got real dirty real fast.
Okay.
So, and believe me, I looked forward to those calls. I'd be bored in the middle of the afternoon, and and she'd call up and she'd be like, oh, I'm going to ravage you when you come,
right.
You come here and whatever. And it was hard for me to get out because that was when I was driving for the general.
All right. So
I wasn't really the only real restriction that I had was I really wasn't able to leave the base. I had to be somewhat available on call. If he got a wild hair or a phone call or something at 7:00 at night, I had to be able to get there and get him.
Right. You were on call.
Yeah. So I could not just go to another base. The other base was like a half hour away or something. It wasn't like it was very far. But we didn't have cars. I could have technically driven the general's car, but then if I wrecked, God forbid, God knows what would have happened then.
Sure.
So, you had to take like a bus. So I finally, after we go back and forth with this fucking sex play or whatever you call it on the phone, for about a month. And then and she is just filthy. I mean, just filthy about what she's going to do and, how she's going to fucking lick my asshole till I came without her. She said she was going to lick my asshole till I came without her touching my dick.
All right.
That's how fucking dirty this guy.
Oh, okay.
I was like, this is going to be fucking great. So, I finally, after about a month, I get a time where I know the general he was on vacation or something. I forget. He wasn't there. And I was like, all right, I'm going to come. I'm going to come to the base. So I set up a time. I did my job for the day. I got on the bus. I go to her thing. When I get there, first of all, it was supposed to be just me and her. It ends up being like a fucking party with all of her friends there that I don't know. But it's like, whatever, for me, I'm fine with partying with anybody. It didn't matter. So we party for a little bit. And then after about, 2 hours or so, she's like, let's go somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, wherever you want, So she's like, are you ready to have some fun? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, let's get to it.
So I fucking go in. I fucking get on, like, she had a regular barracks bed, and I fucking take off my shit right there on the bed, and I'm waiting for her to come in. And she comes in, and she's got the negligee type thing on. And it really didn't look very good.
Yeah.
It really was not attractive. And I was just trying to go with it, but it just wasn't working. And she knew that it wasn't working. And she was like, you don't like this? And I was like, oh, no, it's great. It's great. Whatever, right? But I could tell it just wrecked it, that she knew.
Right.
And then, so the sex was horrendous. It was like, I don't know if she was out of the mood because I wasn't into the fucking negligee or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But, dude, it was, first of all, she didn't want to do for all the talking that she did.
Right.
She gave me 15 seconds of blowjob.
Right.
And then fucking only missionary sex.
Sure.
No different positions. Wouldn't fucking flip over. Wouldn't fucking lay on her side. Nothing.
Right.
Just fucking missionary sex. And got freaked out God, listen, this is a chick that talked for a fucking month about what a filthy pig she was.
Right.
I tried to, I was banging her missionary style, and I tried to take her legs, which were kind of out, and put them, standard move. Put them on my, like on my shoulders. That move, and then kind of lean in so she can fucking bang her a little bit deeper.
Sure.
As soon as I did, she's like, no, can't do that. It's like, oh, okay. It was just fucking miserable, dude. It was one of the very few times that I fucking ever just was like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
Didn't care.
Yeah.
It's like, this is fucking terrible.
Right.
Then I went back to the room where the other guys were and just kept on partying.
Sure.
I was there, might as well, right?
I agree.
Yeah. I've definitely had some of those moments.
Yeah, I've had situations where they're going to be your deepest, darkest secret, and they're just going to be crazy and just out of control, and you're just like, all right, what's up with that? And then you do get with them, and their idea of being crazy and out of control is they wore heels.
Yeah, that's something.
And it's just like, okay, let's get to it. And it's like,
I'm wearing the heels.
Yeah, I'm wearing the heels. Look, I'm wearing these black pumps. It's like, okay, and?
Yeah, it makes me taller.
Well, that's it. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
And then if you try to do something fucked up, then she gets all fucking offended.
Sure.
Do you ever have that? Where
of course.
Really fucked up, and they get really offended.
It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I thought that's perverted. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. What's the most fucked up thing you ever tried?
The most fucked up thing?
Yeah, with one girl, because I don't want to get into. Whoa, I had a threesome or anything.
No, nothing like that. Just I'm trying to. I don't know. I guess it determines or depends on what your thought or your definition of fucked up thing.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think.
I'll tell you mine, and then you think of yours.
All right.
The worst thing most fucked up thing, I don't want to say worst because she actually dug it, was I had this girl I was engaged to, Brenda.
Yeah.
She was a real goer.
Okay.
I should have married that one. She was I didn't marry her because she was a cheater, and she actually went through 4 husbands, so I probably lucked out by not marrying her, but in the bed, she was by far the most of a goer I ever was with.
Okay.
And we did some crazy shit. We fucked on a golf course once during the day while people were golfing.
All right.
We didn't give a fuck, man. We were fucking. I was wild. She was wild, and was like, "Fuck it, who cares?" But I had this pair of handcuffs.
Okay.
That I don't even know where I got them from, and I put them around her ankles, and I got her laying on her stomach, and kind of like blowing me, but like deep throat blowing me.
Okay.
And I grabbed I had her put her legs up, and I grabbed the fucking handcuffs, like in between.
Yes.
The handcuffs.
Yes.
To keep pulling on her fucking even harder, pulling her toward me.
Right.
Like going for the total fucking choke out.
Right.
It was totally fucked up. And she even was like, I didn't really like that much.
Sure.
But I was, fuck it, whatever. I was 20. I was willing to try anything.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And she was a goer, so I was like, fuck yeah, you're in, I'm in. Let's do this. Yeah, she was a fun one.
Sure. Well, I don't know if this would be considered fucked up.
Yeah.
But it was definitely somewhat risky, I guess.
Okay.
When I was living in California, I had this gal, and she was pretty liberal, easygoing, laid back. A good friend of mine, actually, he was the best man in my wedding.
Okay.
He had gotten married not long after I did, maybe about a year or so after I did.
Right.
And within 3 years, he was divorced.
Right.
So his his parents wanted to kind of ease the blow a little bit.
Sure.
And sent him, I don't know if they paid for his friend or not, but he and a friend of his came out to Las Vegas.
Right.
For a few days just to get away.
Okay.
Well, I live 3 hours south of Vegas. And so, he called me and said, hey, I'm coming into Vegas. We're, me and my friend, we're going to hang out for a few days. Why don't you come up and, I'd like to see you.
Right.
So I drove up with this gal and we were going to meet him at the airport at McCarran Airport.
Mm-hmm.
So while we were waiting, we got up to Vegas early. While we were waiting, we went to the airport and we drove up into the parking deck.
Sure.
And it was like, I don't know, it was like 7 or 8 stories tall.
Right.
Well, I banged her out on the hood of the car in the parking deck.
Nice.
Then on the same night, while we were at the hotel where they checked in, he was staying at the Continental. I remember that. I don't think it's still around anymore, but it was off the strip.
Right.
Well, she claimed she had a headache.
Right.
And then I banged her out again on his bed in his room.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's considered fucked up or not, but
that's good. That qualifies.
So we were out on top of the parking deck at McCarran Airport.
Sure. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody flying in, so you fucking this chick.
Pretty much.
It's fun. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with it. I just don't know if that would be considered a fucked up thing.
Why not? Dude, anything that's not in a bed and not normal is fun.
Sure.
It is fun. It's kind of fucked up.
Right.
Outside sex is always fucked up.
Sure.
Getting some in a fucking changing room, as many people as have done that, it's still fucking a little bit radical.
Sure it is.
Still risk getting arrested and shit.
Yeah.
All that stuff's fun.
Yeah. Elevators
are fun. Anything that's off the beaten path, because, I mean, you were married, even though you weren't married for a long time, man, once you've been married 6 months, you've explored everything there is to explore.
You would think anyway.
Unless you're really boring.
Well, I would have to say my ex was very uptight.
Okay.
Because you've been to my place.
Yeah.
Some of my, I like a thing. I have a thing for the 50s pinup look.
Yeah.
The 50s pinup girl.
Yeah.
They have the seam stockings and the whole thing.
Sure.
So I bought her some for Christmas or something, my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she just was appalled and horrified.
Why?
That I bought those, because only whores wear stuff like that.
Right.
And that was like absolutely a no-no.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I would try to do things like that. And it's just like, I'm not wearing that. Only a whore would wear something like that. It's like, what are you, shitting me?
I can relate to that.
Are you shitting me? It's like, you don't have to wear them out of the house. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to, just, do it for me. Oh, yeah. No.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you think of me?
Is that what you think of me?
If that's what you think of me, that I'm your whore?
Yeah, like, right now, yes.
Yeah, I want you to be hot.
Yeah. That is one of those things that a certain other person in my life, and I won't say who.
Sure.
But that person always wanted it to be an event. It always had to be an event. It always had to be meaningful and full of emotion.
Of course.
No, not of course. Of course not. It should be that way. Honestly, I always thought it should be that way rarely.
Right.
Every once in a while, you should really use that to show how much you give a shit.
Right.
And all the rest of the time, it should almost be animalistic.
Yeah, I agree.
It should just be fucking wild with no real rules and be just about what it is, just about fucking. None of this making love horse shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Save that for your anniversary or something, or your 10th anniversary. Not even every anniversary.
Sure.
Like 10th anniversary. You make it 10 years, you really want to make it special, you do the slowdown and, all the bullshit that comes with that, the flowers on the fucking bed and all that other shit.
Right, exactly.
But most of the time, it should just be, I'm a dude, you're a chick, you got the thing that'll make my cock squirt, make it happen. And then I'll fucking stick my tongue on that fucking bean until you fucking come.
Right.
While I'm fucking you or whatever.
Sure.
But, but it's about fucking. Most of the time should be about fucking. And every once in a while it should be passionate. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the whole Harlequin romance, idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not about dirty sex.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Look at Demon. You think Neeley was brought up Amish? I don't know why she would say something.
Amish?
That's what she says. I'm certainly not Amish. It's so funny.
What do Amish people bang? What is that supposed to be in reference to?
That you're kind of old-fashioned or something.
Reserved or something?
Yeah, reserved.
Please. I've never actually watched you fuck, but I'm assuming from seeing and sort of knowing some of the girls that you fucked that you're not fucking Amish.
No. Not in the least.
I know for a fact, we're talking about fucked up places. I know for a fact of one radio studio that
yes,
had a chick.
Absolutely.
I know for a fact. How many girls did you fuck at that studio?
3.
3.
3
different chicks.
Yep.
So, and let's be honest, that studio was in the back of a high school.
It was.
So you fucked 3 chicks in a high school?
I did.
And I'm the one that thinks that I do the crazy shit.
Right.
You were a janitor's visit away from being busted.
Pretty much. All right, you write them down. Yep, you got 2 of them.
And who's the third?
Somebody you didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Who basically came and visited me just out of the blue one time.
Nice. So it was just a fan?
No, it was somebody I had a previous relationship with.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wow, look at you. You banged out a fan.
No.
Nice. I mean, I've heard the name, but I don't think I ever.
Right.
Yeah. Well, number 2 on my list. I'd have hit that with the vengeance.
Right.
But didn't you say that she wasn't that good?
There was just that was sort of like, definitely not what you would expect.
Her hotness was hotter than her performance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That first time that she pulled her clothes off, though, were you like, holy fuck?
Yes and no.
Really? What was wrong with her?
Well, I'm not going to say, but
We're not saying who it is.
all right, I know.
We haven't said a name.
Let's just say that the ravages of motherhood had taken its place on.
My God.
Yes.
So what you're saying was that her fucking pelvic bone was
no, wasn't that
her tits?
Yes.
Saggy old titties?
Yes.
Oh.
It's something a push-up bra was definitely made for.
Oh, that's depressing. It's like a fucking water balloon with
right.
a leak.
That's exactly it.
Oh. That's really sad.
Well, that is the truth.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because her tits looked so good.
That's what I'm saying.
Her tits looked so... I mean, I used to... When she would come to the studio and I was there, I used to just gawk at her.
Right.
That girl had a tremendous ass.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what a little foundation garment can do for you.
Oh, that's really depressing. That's really depressing. You wrecked my night.
Well, you asked.
Thanks a lot. You could have lied.
Well, I'm going to play a song here I think is very appropriate so I can go get another drink.
All right, sounds
and we
good.
can finish out the show.
Okay.
This one comes from the Warrant release, Rockaholic.
All right.
This is Sex Ain't Love.
Nice.
Get that through your head, girls. Sex ain't love.
Right, ladies.
All right, here's Warren exclusively here.
Your classic metal show.